Well, pleasant good turnaround Tuesday. On this Tuesday morning, it's time to go at Premier Cooperative and look at the overnight markets from Premier Cooperative, Doug Kropp. Good morning to you, Premier Doug.
Yeah, good morning, Gail.
A little stabilization through the overnight, Doug. What's causing that stabilization? Was it oversold or just the crop rating didn't look like that the market responded a whole lot to that crop rating yesterday afternoon?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit oversold. The funds had been buying that thing up before the end of last week, and we're selling it back down Friday and again yesterday, and then of course the crop ratings came out. Corn was at 69% good to excellent, which was down 2% from a week ago, and maybe a little bit less than expectations of down at 1%. And the soybean crop was rated at 68% good to excellent, which was down 3% from a week ago. And same thing, they thought that might be down 1%. So a little bit on the lower end of the crop ratings, maybe lending a little bit of support as well this morning.
China continues to import soybeans, but unfortunately it looks like that, according to the articles I see through the overnight, that a lot of it is coming from Brazil.
Yes, China has had exports, or imports, I should say, of soybeans at record once again in June. They continue to import lots of commodities, soybeans coming from Brazil, and that's several reasons there. Obviously, Brazil had a big crop, and we also have continued tensions between China and the U.S. And then they also imported a lot of meat products. They're still continuing to resupply with their issues with the African swine fever over there, and so they've been importing lots of beef and pork, and some of that's been from the U.S. as well. So some good demand from China coming through there, but we'd like to see a little bit more of that come to the U.S. and more of that to fruition, especially with the new crop this year. We'll have to see with, like I said, all the rhetoric and the back and forth with China right now, and a lot of tension there right now.
Well, even though that the report was probably done before the weekend rains, a lot of the traders are probably looking at the weather that did happen versus the crop rating that was probably done before those beneficial rains swept through the mid-belt. But still, 69% good to excellent on the U.S. corn crop is not too shabby, but yet it's still leaving an awful lot of room for the rest of the pollination period in a lot of parts of the Midwest that didn't get a good early start. Most of it was planted after what we would consider a good early start.
Yeah, we had a lot of issues with planting and growing season, and of course locally we also know in different areas there's always some reports of some crop damage to the storms. So there's a little bit of that to throw in there, and some areas did miss the rain. If you look at southern Illinois and Missouri and some of the other spots. So it wasn't everywhere. So there's still some issues out there, and we'll have to see how the crop continues development. If you look at the crop ratings this year versus last year, that's the other thing to look at. Illinois is at 61%. Last year we were at 42%. So, right. And beans 59% versus 41%. So even with all the issues we have going on out there, at least we're substantially better than a year ago.
Exactly, and of course we are in a demand market. The export inspections weren't really too bad yesterday.
Yeah, export inspections yesterday came out, strong to the middle of the upper end of the range, and we need to continue to see those on a weekly basis. So we'll be watching for some more export sales announcements, hopefully this week, to China and some others to have a good report again on Friday.
Of course, that was propped up by the third largest purchase of China in the corn side in history. The third largest, over a million metric tons of corn was purchased. That was in that number, and that helped to prop that up as well. Well, Doug, we're starting to see stabilization as we go towards the biscuit break and into the day trade. Let's take a look at those numbers. And folks from Premier Cooperative, Doug Kropp. Doug?
Okay. September corn is up a penny and a quarter at 3.30 even. December corn is up a penny at 3.37 and a half. March 21 corn is up a penny and a quarter at 3.48 and 3/4. And the soybeans, August beans are up 3 3/4 at 8.77 and 3/4. November beans are up 3 1/4 at 8.78 and a half. In the wheat, September wheat is up 4.5 at 5.29 1/4, and December wheat is up 4 1/4 at 5.35 1/2.
Well, it just doesn't take very much to have the corn and bean market go down a nickel, but boy, it takes almost an act of God to get it up a nickel. Doug Croft with us.
Seems like it.
Doug Croft with us each morning, looking at the overnight markets and commentary, and looking forward to the day trade. And of course, Doug can be reached at Premier Cooperative. The phone number is 217-355-3369. That's 355-3369, or you can always go to their website, premiercooperative.net. Hey, Premier Doug, you have a Premier Tuesday.
Thank you, and you do the same.